right, welcome everyone. So today we are talking about sleep, and there is a lot that we can talk about for this topic. So I had to really think about what is the most useful language that everyone uses. So I'm not including some of the less common expressions, I'm not including idioms, and I'm not including slang, things like that. What we're basically going to talk about is the most common language that native speakers use to talk about sleep in everyday situations. And again, even though I decided not to include some things, it's still a lot. So I highly recommend that you have a pen or pencil and you take some notes. You might even want to watch this again later today or tomorrow after you have already watched it one time because it is going to be a lot of information. But I guarantee that everything that we are going to talk about today will be useful. And hopefully everything that we talk about in every one of these lessons is useful. But yeah, welcome. And I'll take a moment to check some of the comments and see who is here before we begin. See, Ava is here. Ava, thank you for being both a member on YouTube and a subscriber on Facebook and helping to support my work. Thank you very much. I see Rhea is here as always. Betty is here. I see hello from Russia. I see Chris is here. Um, Guerma is here. Greetings from Ukraine. I see Valdirs is here and Monica is here. Tanya Kramer, hello, hello. Irena, thank you for joining. And thank you for continuing to be a subscriber on Facebook and helping to support my work there. But yeah, let's just begin with the lesson because again, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. And we're going to move a bit faster, a bit more quickly today. Because we've got lots of information, lots of details, lots of how is this different from this. It's probably going to be so usually when we do these live lessons, I spend a lot of time checking your sentences. Today, we are going to do that, but we're not going to do it so much. And again, this is because we have lots of details. However, if you take notes, you should take notes for this again because we have lots of information. If you take notes and after we finish the video, you could also spend some time writing more sentences and then commenting those sentences later, and I might be able to check some of them for you later. Renata is here. Thank you for being a YouTube member. Thank you very much. Hello from Poland. Hello from Leeds. Hello from Poland again. All right, but yeah, let's begin. So I'm not going to be looking at the comments right now because we are going to begin with the lesson. But really quickly before we begin, I just want to mention a few things. Number one is that you can now practice speaking with me on italki. So you can do one-on-one speaking sessions with me on italki, which is a website. If you don't know italki and you're interested in this, or maybe you do know italki and you're interested in this, you can go to the description below this video and there's the link there. Next thing, for the rest of this month, for all of August, all of my ebooks are 30% off, meaning there's a 30% discount. You just need to use the code August30 when you check out. The link for this is also in the description below the video. And a reminder, if you'd like to get updates from me when I have new ebooks, when I have new videos, when I announce what the next live lesson is about, things like this, or if you'd like a reminder about the live lessons, for example, a message that says, hey, we have a live lesson in 1 hour, joining my Facebook Messenger channel is a great way to do that. It's 100% free. The link to that is also in the description below. In this Messenger channel, it's just Facebook Messenger, and I send usually 1 to 3 messages per day saying, hey, I have a new video. Hey, you should check out this post, or hey, here is what we are going to talk about in the next live lesson. Also, if you're interested in receiving emails from me, you can join my email newsletter, which you can also find in the description below. I usually only send 1 per month. I try not to send too many. And the last thing before we begin, if you enjoy this lesson and find it useful and would like to say thank you, one thing that you can do is buy me a coffee. And the link for that is in the description below as well. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say before we begin. And now let's begin. So again, talking about sleep. And the first thing is that sleep is both a noun and a verb. As a noun, it's an uncountable noun. And as a verb, it is an irregular verb. The 3 forms are sleep, slept, and slept. So PT sound, slept. Sleep, slept, slept. We also have the adjectives asleep and awake. Asleep is just an adjective that means that right now someone is sleeping. Awake is an adjective that means that right now someone is not sleeping. So you could say, I was sleeping. You could also say, I was asleep. They mean basically the same thing. However, I was sleeping uses a verb, an action, an activity, whereas I was asleep describes a state, like happy, sad, hungry. But yeah, they basically give the same information. Likewise, you could say, I wasn't sleeping, or you could say, I was awake. Those both mean the same thing as well. Well, these do not mean the same thing as these. These and these are opposites. So if you are sleeping, you can say this or this. If you are not sleeping, you can use this or this. But these are about the past. The next, and again, I'm moving quickly because these are the most basic things today. And I think that a lot of the language that we are going to talk about in this lesson, you have seen before, you have heard before, but there might be some small differences that I am going to help you understand. And that's why I'm comfortable going pretty quickly today, because I think you already know a lot of the basics here. The next thing is that when we talk about starting to sleep, we don't usually say sleep. We don't usually say, I sleep at 9 p.m. We usually say, I go to bed, or I go to sleep at 9 p.m. So that's the first thing. We don't usually say I sleep. We usually say go to bed or go to sleep. And there is a very small difference between go to sleep and go to bed. Um, Go to bed is more about going to the place where you sleep, going to your bedroom, walking over to your bed and lying down in it. Going to sleep is more about closing your eyes and starting to sleep. However, most of the time, you do those two things at approximately the same time. So I think about 90% of the time, it really doesn't matter which one you say, because if you are going to bed, that is because you are going to sleep. And to go to sleep, you also need to go to bed. So usually we use them the same. Um, you can ask, what time do you go to bed? Or what time do you go to sleep? In that situation, they really mean the same thing. For example, I usually go to sleep around 9 p.m. That's not true. I usually go to sleep around midnight. Um, what I want to show you is that you can say, I usually go to sleep around, or you could use at about. Um, when it's about, you use at about. When it's around, you do not need at. So I usually go to sleep around 9 p.m., or I usually go to sleep at about 9 p.m. But again, you could also change sleep to bed. So I usually go to bed around 9 p.m., or I usually go to bed at about 9 p.m. Again, very, very small difference between go to sleep and go to bed. But especially if you are someone who can fall asleep very quickly, they mean basically the same thing. And in everyday conversation, especially, most people use them almost exactly the same. Um, so leave a comment. Let me know, what time do you usually go to sleep? Or what time do you usually go to bed? Now you can send me a sentence. I will look at a few of them. Isga, I see your comment. When did the stream begin? I never get notifications. So these always begin at the same time every Monday. These live lessons are always at the same time every week. Also, if YouTube is not giving you a notification, join my Facebook Messenger channel, because in my Facebook Messenger channel, I will usually send you a message 24 hours before saying, hey, the lesson's going to begin in 24 hours. I'll also send you one about 1 hour before, like I did today. I also sent a message 1 minute before it began today. So if you're not receiving notifications from YouTube, join the Facebook Messenger channel. It's in the description below. Okay, I usually go to sleep at about 9:30 p.m. If you write the time this way, 21:30, no PM. There's no AM and PM when you use the 24-hour clock. This If you want to say PM, you need to write 9:30. So I usually go to sleep at about 9:30 PM. I go to bed at about 10. Good, good. And here, this is very natural. Good. You don't need to say PM all the time, because we know that it's PM. Good. I usually go to bed around 11 p.m. Very good, very good. I work at night, so I go to bed at 8:30 a.m. after my night shift. Okay, good, good. So in this case, it is a good idea to say AM or PM, because it is the opposite of what most people would usually do. Good. I usually go to sleep at 10 p.m. Good. I usually go to bed at about 11 p.m. Good. I usually go to bed around 11 PM. Okay, good, good, good. So again, I'm not going to check every one. It looks like we understand this. Let's go to the next thing. So the next thing, I have to find it, one moment. So we have go to bed, go to sleep. We also have fall asleep. Fall asleep focuses on change from awake to asleep. It's more about it's not about what you decide to do. It's about what happens to your body, what happens to your mind. And there are two reasons that this is a very useful phrase. Um, One is that it's useful for talking about how easily or how quickly you start sleeping. For example, it usually takes me a long time to fall asleep. You have gone to bed, you are in your bed, and you have your eyes closed, but you can't sleep. In this situation, we would usually use fall asleep. It takes me a long time to fall asleep. Or another example, I spelled that wrong. Give me one moment. Give me one moment to fix that. I had a hard time falling asleep last night. So I was in bed and I wanted to sleep, but my body would not. My mind had lots of thoughts. I was thinking about many things. I wanted to sleep, but I couldn't start the sleep. I had a hard time falling asleep last night. So these are situations where using fall asleep is very natural. Another difference between fall asleep and go to sleep or go to bed is that it's useful for accidents. Um, Maybe not accidents, but when you start sleeping, even though you are not trying to sleep. For example, he fell asleep during the movie. He was watching a movie and he wanted to stay awake, but the movie was very boring or he was very tired and he fell asleep. It was not planned, didn't want to do it, it just happened. So, those are the two main reasons that we use fall asleep, showing how easily or quickly you start sleeping, and accidents, falling asleep without planning to, without wanting to. So to practice using this one a little bit, I want you to tell me, how long does it usually take you to fall asleep? Send a comment, let me know. How long does it usually take you to fall asleep? And remember, you can start the sentence like this: it usually takes. For example, it usually takes me about 10 minutes to fall asleep. It usually takes me about 30 minutes to fall asleep. It usually takes me 1 hour to fall asleep. It usually takes me about 3 minutes to fall asleep. But remember, if the subject is it, takes needs an S on it. It usually takes me. Usually, it takes me a long time to fall asleep. Yeah, good, but you do need a period at the end of your sentence. I generally fall asleep while I am watching your lessons these days, Mike. So I think you mean this in a good way, like you like to watch my lessons in the evening, but this actually sounds like my lessons are very boring and they make you fall asleep. So I'm not sure. I fall asleep in 5 minutes. It usually takes me about 20 minutes to fall asleep. And asleep, one word, asleep. It takes me about 40 minutes to fall asleep. Very good. It usually takes me only a few minutes to fall asleep, but I don't sleep a long time. Okay, good. I fall asleep very quickly because I'm usually tired. It takes me a few minutes. Okay, good. Good, Ava. It usually takes me a few minutes to fall asleep, especially when I am tired. Okay, good. Guerma, good. And you do need a comma in the middle. It usually takes me a few minutes to fall asleep. So this should be fall asleep. It usually takes me a few minutes to fall asleep. Okay, and so you do not fall asleep because my lessons are boring. You do find them enjoyable. Okay, good. Thank you. It usually takes me about 5 to 10 minutes to fall asleep. Okay, and, again, I can't check all of them because we have lots of stuff to do, so let's go to the next part now. Oh, let me get that comment off the screen. Okay. Okay, so we talked about fall asleep. The next thing is that we often use the word up to mean awake. So when you see up, when we are talking about sleep, it means awake. So you might hear someone ask, is he up yet? Which means, is he awake right now? Or is he still sleeping? Is he up yet? Breakfast is ready. Is he up yet? Or she should be up soon. That means I think that she will wake up soon. So yeah, up just means awake. Um, I was up at 5 o'clock this morning. That means at 5 o'clock, if you had taken a picture of me, you would have seen me awake doing something. Um, so yeah, very quickly, just up means awake. Then we have stay awake and stay up. And these look like we should use them the same because up means awake. So stay awake and stay up should be exactly the same. However, we don't use them exactly the same. They mean the same thing, but we don't use them in exactly the same situations. Let me explain. So, stay awake is more often about trying not to fall asleep. Like, you don't want to sleep, you want to remain awake. For example, I drank coffee to stay awake. So, we use stay awake when we're talking about like fighting against sleep, basically. But stay up is more often about being awake and doing something. So when you want to focus on the activity that you are doing instead of sleeping, it's more common to use stay up. For example, they stayed up all night playing cards. You could say they stayed awake all night playing cards, but it sounds less natural. Most people would normally say this one. So, I want you to tell me, What's something that you sometimes stay up doing? And here, when I say stay up, I mean stay up later than normal. Stay up past your bedtime. So if you usually go to bed at 9, but you sometimes go to bed at 11, why is that? Why do you sometimes stay up 2 hours later than normal? What are you doing? Again, my example was they stayed up all night playing cards. But I want you to tell me what you sometimes stay up doing. For example, I sometimes stay up replying to comments on my Facebook page and YouTube channel. I should be sleeping, but instead I spend 2 more hours replying to comments. I see sometimes I stay up until 2 a.m. This is good. This is correct. But I want to know, what are you doing? Why do you stay up until 2 a.m.? So I often stay up all the night when I work. So you don't need the. It's just all night. All night, no the. I often stay up all night when I work. Um, I'd probably just say I often stay up all night working. I often stay up all night working. I usually stay up waiting for my husband that comes back from work. Okay, so this one you can say, I usually stay up waiting for my husband to get home from work. I usually stay up waiting for my husband to get home from work. You can say come back. Come back is fine too. I usually stay up waiting for my husband to come back from work. But don't use that comes, use to come or to get. I sometimes stay up watching films, because sometimes more than one time, so more than one film, more than one movie. I sometimes and because it's sometimes, we're talking about a habit, something that you did last month, this month, maybe next month. We use present simple tense, so no ed. I sometimes stay up watching films. I sometimes stay up watching movies. Perfect. Very good. I generally stay up preparing quiz questions for my students in next day. Um, I generally stay up preparing quiz questions. Um, this one's a little bit difficult to fix without changing it a lot. Um, I generally stay up preparing the next day's quiz questions. Day apostrophe s, meaning belonging to that day, of that day. I generally stay up preparing the next day's quiz questions. I always Okay, so I always stay up late. You don't need be and you don't need ing. Just I always stay up late fellowshipping with my dear brothers and sisters. So I always stay up late. I sometimes stay up all night reading book. Good, but remember that book is a countable noun, so you need to say either a book or books. So I sometimes stay up all night reading a book, or I sometimes stay up all night reading books. Both of those work. I often stay up all night working. I often stay up late watching TV. I sometimes stay up preparing for exams. I usually stay up working on new electronic projects that I love. Okay, very good, very good. Ava, I usually stay up reading books. Okay, good, good, good. Let's go on to the next part. Everyone's got great examples, great sentences. Thank you all for participating, but to continue the lesson, I cannot check everyone. The next thing is that we often use get sleep when talking about an amount of sleep. Um, for example, let me just show you. I didn't get much sleep last night. You could also say, I didn't sleep very much last night, or I didn't sleep for very long last night. But I feel like this is the most natural. When talking about an amount, a length of sleep, we usually, or I don't know if it's usually, but to me, it feels like it's usually, we usually use get, amount, sleep. Sleep is a noun here. Another example, I only got 4 hours of sleep last night. So you can see we use get, an amount, and then the noun sleep. So get 4 hours of sleep. Here it's past tense, so we used got. I only got 4 hours of sleep last night. So I want to know, how much sleep did you get last night? And again, I want you to use get, amount, sleep. But remember that it's past tense, so it should look like this. However, you don't need to include the word only. Only include the word only if it was a very, very small amount. If it was 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, don't include only. So, how much sleep did you get last night? Leave a comment, let me know. Almost. Almost. Remember last night in the past, so you need got. I got 8 hours of sleep last night. But the rest of it is perfect. Very good. Very good. I got 6 hours of sleep last night. Good. 100% perfect. Very good. Very good, Tanya. I only got 3 hours of sleep last night because I was feeling low and I had a fever. So fever is a countable noun, so it's a fever. A fever. But very good overall, and I hope that you are feeling a bit better now, and I hope that you get some rest soon. I got 8 hours of sleep last night. Perfect. Very good. I got 9 hours of sleep last night. Good, good, good. Last night, I got only 5 hours of sleep. Good. I got 7 hours of sleep last night, so I feel rested. Very good. I didn't get enough sleep last night. Okay, good. Yesterday, I got much sleep because I have a day off. Okay, so I think today is the day off. If today is the day off, that makes sense. Okay, good. Um, However, we don't usually use much in positive sentences. We don't usually say I have much or I got much. We usually use much in negative sentences. I didn't get much. I don't have much. In this one, I would probably use a lot of. Yesterday, I got a lot of sleep. I got 8 hours of sleep last night. All right, very good, very good, very good. Let's go, one more from Irena. I got 7 hours of sleep last night. Very good. And last night I got 4. You have last night 2 times. Only 1 time is necessary. So last night I got 4 hours of sleep. Okay, good, good, good. Now, next part, and again, we're moving pretty quickly. I hope everyone is okay with that. But let's go on to the next part. So, earlier, I said that, what did I say? I said a lot of things. Oh, okay. I said that we we don't usually say sleep to talk about starting sleeping. We usually say go to bed or go to sleep. And the problem is that lots of people, when they want to say that they went to sleep late at night, they try to say, I slept late. But I slept late does not work. Let me find it for you. So we do not say sleep late. We say go to sleep late or go to bed late. You could also use be up late or stay up late. So again, this is about nighttime, the time that you start to sleep. We do not say sleep late. So we do not say I slept late last night. That does not make sense. So what you can say is I went to sleep late last night, or I went to bed late last night, or I was up late last night, or I stayed up late last night. All of those work. All of those mean basically the same thing. But we do not say I slept late last night. And this is because sleep late means wake up late. Sleep late is about the end of your sleep, not about the beginning of your sleep. So this might seem confusing to some of you that sleep late means wake up late. I want to be very clear. Sleep late does not mean go to bed late. It does not mean go to sleep late. It means wake up late. And there are actually, we're going to come back to this, but because waking up is now a new topic, before we talk about waking up late in detail, I first want to talk about these. So, what is the difference between waking up, and getting out of bed? Basically, wake up means stop sleeping. I'm sleeping, 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 sleeping. Wake up. Get up means that you wake up and then you decide to do something. Like, okay, I'm awake and now I have an activity. So get up does not mean stand up, sit up, get out of the bed. It just means stay awake and start doing things. But this is very similar to go to bed and go to sleep. Usually, you can say go to bed or you can say go to sleep because you do them at basically the same time. They're basically the same thing. Wake up and get up, very similar also. So, 90% of the time, when you're talking about waking up in the morning to start your day, you can use get up or you can use wake up. 90% of the time, they describe the same thing. So, I have to wake up early tomorrow. I have to get up early tomorrow. Those mean the same thing. So, when we're talking about the thing that we do in the morning at the beginning of our day, they're really the same. Um, Another example, I usually wake up around 8 a.m. I usually get up around 8 a.m. Almost everyone is going to understand these two sentences to mean exactly the same thing. Um, so I want you all to tell me in the comments, what time do you usually wake up? And again, you can use wake up or you can use get up because here they mean the same thing. So, what time do you wake up? What time do you get up? Again, I usually wake up. And you can use around or you can use at about. Up to you. I usually wake up at about 6 a.m. Perfect. Very good. I usually wake up around 7 a.m. Good. The only thing is you need a period at the end of your sentence. I usually get up around 6 a.m. Good. I usually wake up around 7 a.m. I usually wake up around 7:30 a.m. Good. And thank you for being a member and helping to support my channel. If you see anyone has this little circle next to their name, that means that they pay a fee every month to be a member and help support my channel. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for doing that. I usually get up at around 5 a.m. Very good. Very good. And because you have around, you don't need about, or sorry, you don't need at. You can just say, I usually get up around 5 a.m. You don't need at. If you use about, you do need at. So I usually get up around 5 a.m. or I usually get up at about 5 a.m. I usually wake up around 7:30 a.m. I usually wake up around 7 and get up around 7:30 after my exercises. This does not work because you can't get up after exercising. If you are exercising, that means that you already got up. So I'm not sure what you mean here, but this first part is correct. I usually get up around 4 a.m. I usually get up around 6. I usually get up around 10 a.m. I usually wake up between 1 or 2 p.m. Okay, good, because you work the night shift. Okay, good. I usually wake up around 5 a.m. because I have to run early. Good. I usually get up at about 5:30 a.m., excluding weekends. Okay, very good. And again, I want to be clear, there is a very, very small difference between wake up and get up. But when we are talking about beginning our day in the morning, they usually mean the same thing because you usually open your eyes and then start your day at approximately the same time. So usually, like, you open your eyes and you get out of bed. You do them at the same time. So there's really not a big difference in when we use get up and wake up. Most people use them the same in that situation. However, however, if you wake up, you open your eyes and you stop sleeping, but you do not start your day, you do not do anything, you do not go anywhere, then we only use wake up. We would not usually use get up. For example, I woke up at 3 a.m. and couldn't fall back asleep until about 4. So in this situation, you were sleeping, middle of the night, maybe there's a spider on your face and you wake up. But you don't want to be awake. You don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to do anything. You want to continue sleeping. So in that case, we would only use wake up. I woke up, past tense, I woke up at 3 a.m. and couldn't fall back asleep until about 4. But if you woke up and then decided to do something, then you can use get. I got up at 3 a.m. to go to the bathroom. I got up at 3 a.m., smoked a cigarette, and then went back to sleep. But if you wake up and you don't want to be awake, you don't want to do anything, you want to continue sleeping, but it's just about your body, your eyes opening. In that case, we use wake up, not get up. So in this example, get up would not really work. But when talking about the thing that you do in the morning to start your day, you can use either one. Okay, so now that we understand wake up and get up, hopefully, the next thing is that I told you that we don't use sleep late because sleep late actually means wake up late. And so here are actually three different ways that we can say wake up late or get up late. Um, so that's the first thing. You can say wake up late or you can say get up late. You can also say sleep late. All three of those mean the same thing, basically. Um, then these three here, we have sleep late, oversleep, and sleep in. These three all mean wake up late, get up late. However, there are small differences between them. So sleep late is very general. It's the same as wake up late, get up late. But oversleep tells us that it was an accident. You did not want to sleep that late. You did not want to sleep that long. Maybe you couldn't wake up. Maybe you were very tired and you didn't hear your alarm clock, or you forgot to set your alarm clock. In that case, you can use oversleep. Oversleep makes it clear that it was an accident, not something that you planned. Sleep in makes it sound like you did plan it. You did want it to happen because you were feeling lazy. You wanted to relax. So all of these mean wake up late or get up late, but this one is very general. It doesn't specify whether you wanted to do it or whether it was an accident. We really don't know. It's just the same as wake up late or get up late. Oversleep makes it clear that it was an accident. Sleep in makes it clear that it was not an accident. You did it because you wanted to relax. So, two examples. I overslept and missed my appointment. So I had an appointment. I wanted to be there. I wanted to wake up, but I didn't. And it was an accident. And that is why we can use overslept, which is the past form of oversleep. I like to sleep in on my days off. Days off, no work. So I like to relax. I like to sleep more. I plan to sleep more. Because of that, we can use sleep in. All right, so now the final part of this lesson, probably going to be about 15 more minutes. Um, the final part is we're going to talk about questions that you can use, like, did you sleep well? To talk to people about their sleep, especially if you have guests at your home or if you are a tour guide and you're talking to people in the morning or if you work at a hotel or something like that. So it's the questions that we ask people about their sleep and also how to answer those questions. So, how to talk about the quality of your sleep. But I'm talking a lot, so give me one moment to just check the comments, see if we had any questions, and I'm also going to drink some water, and then we will continue in 1 second. I see this. Oversleep means miss the alarm. So I would be careful. Yes, if you miss your alarm, you will probably oversleep. But it doesn't always mean that you have an alarm because lots of people do not use an alarm. Lots of people just always wake up at the same time without an alarm. And those people can also oversleep. So generally, yes, but like as a rule, no, not really. I like to sleep in on vacation. Yes, very good, very good. Is it incorrect to say I sleep at 3 o'clock a.m.? Um, it's not incorrect, but it would be a lot more natural to say I go to sleep at 3 a.m. or I go to bed at 3 a.m. Like, there might be some situations where we would say it this way, but it's not the way that we usually say it. Okay, so now the next part. Give me one moment. So, the two questions that we usually ask people, maybe we saw them yesterday and then now we see them again in the morning today. We usually ask either, did you sleep well? Or how did you sleep? Did you sleep well is a yes no question. How did you sleep is an open question. And there's no rule about how you reply to this. You can reply however you want. But I just want to give you some answers that are easy and correct so that you can use them easily and correctly instead of worrying about, should I say this? Should I say this? So, some of the most common answers, um, if someone asks you, did you sleep well? It's often just a conversation question. Like how are you? How are you is often not a real question. You don't need to tell them in detail, and often you want it to be positive to make the conversation feel light and happy and good. So normally I would just say, if it's did you sleep well? Yes, no question. I would reply, yeah, I slept great. Oh yeah, I slept great. Or yeah, I slept really well. Um, if it's how did you sleep? It's not a yes no question. Just remove the word yeah. How did you sleep? I slept great. Did you sleep well? Yes, I slept great. So if it's did you can start with yes. If it's how did you, do not start with yes. Did you sleep well? Yeah, I slept great. How did you sleep? I slept great. Another very common thing that you might hear is, I slept like a baby. Um, some people's babies, or some babies do not sleep well. Some babies love to wake up and cry. However, that's not what this expression means. To sleep like a baby means to sleep really well, to get lots of really good, high quality sleep. I slept like a baby. It was wonderful. So, how did you sleep? Oh, I slept like a baby. I slept a lot. So, those are some options. And again, usually it's just a conversation question, not a serious question. So you're usually going to say something like this. But there might be some situations where you want to be honest that the quality of your sleep was not good. And you could, if they ask, did you sleep well? You could say, no, not really. The room was really hot, and there were lots of dogs barking outside and motorcycles, and the hallway was very loud. So, no, no, not really. Or if they ask, how did you sleep? Not very well. Did you sleep well? No, not really. How did you sleep? Not very well. Now, maybe no one's asking you a question. Maybe you just want to describe your sleep experience. If someone says, "Hey, why do you look so tired today?" Which is not a very polite thing to say. If it's someone who you are not close with, just so you know. I think in some cultures, people are more comfortable saying, "Hey, you look tired. Hey, you look sick." But in most English speaking cultures, that is rude. We don't talk to people about their bodies. We don't say, "Hey, you look sick. Hey, you look tired. Hey, you've got fat." We don't usually say those things in English. But if you do want to explain why you are tired, you can say, I didn't sleep very well last night. Yeah, I didn't sleep very well last night. I'm pretty tired today. Um, and sleep very well, that's about the quality of your sleep. If you want to talk about the quantity or the amount of your sleep, you can also use this. I didn't get much sleep last night. Again, when talking about quantity, we often use get and sleep as a noun. I didn't get much sleep last night. I'm pretty tired today. And another very common one is I had a hard time falling asleep. So I closed my eyes, but I couldn't sleep. My mind wouldn't do what I wanted it to do. I was in bed for 5 hours and I couldn't fall asleep. I had a hard time falling asleep. So that's another very common one. And we also have this. I couldn't fall asleep until about, and give them a time. So yeah, I couldn't fall asleep until about 2 a.m. last night. That's why I'm so tired today. I tried to go to bed early, but I was so stressed. I was thinking about so many things. I couldn't fall asleep until about 3 a.m. So yeah, this is another one that we use. We've got one more, and then you all can ask me some questions if there's anything that you didn't understand in this lesson. The last thing is a good night's sleep. So this is a noun phrase, a good night's sleep. So it's a noun that we use to talk about sleeping well or sleeping a lot. For example, I want to get a good night's sleep tonight. That means tonight I want some long, high quality sleep. I want to sleep really well tonight. Um, for example, oh, I did not get much sleep last night. I'm really tired today. I want to get a good night's sleep tonight. I want to go to bed early and get a really good night's sleep. Or if you have children, you might tell them, you've got your exams tomorrow, so make sure to get a good night's sleep tonight. Just so you know, if you ever see a good night's sleep, that just means sleeping well, sleeping for a long time. Let's see it now. Let's see. That was everything that I have for you. So now I want to see if you all have any questions for me about this topic. I'll also check a few more of the sentences. I slept very well like a baby last night. So if you say slept like a baby, you don't need to say very well. They mean the same thing. So you just say, I slept like a baby last night. Know very well. I had a sound sleep. Yeah, so sound is another adjective that we use to mean good or restful or deep. I didn't sleep very well last night because of the storm outside. Perfect. Very good, Ava. I didn't sleep well last night. Good, good, good. I usually wake up at 7, but I get up at 7:15. So this is something that I have never really heard a native speaker say. This is something that I have heard lots of English learners say, but I've never really heard a native speaker say. And that's why I really tried to focus on the idea that usually they mean the same thing. Um, I think if you really wanted to say something like this, it would be better to say, I usually wake up at 7, but don't get out of bed until 7:15. Let me add that. So again, I would not say it that way. I would say it this way. I usually wake up at 7, but don't get out of bed until 7:15. Because again, get up and wake up are so similar that it just seems weird to say it that way. It makes more sense to say it this way because get out of bed specifies leaving your bed, sitting up, standing up, getting out of the bed and going somewhere. Get up does not really mean that. Get up is just saying, Okay, I'm awake now. I'm not going to start sleeping again. I'll stay in my bed, but yeah. Oops. Check a few more questions, few more comments. How was your sleep? Is this question correct? Yes, yes. So that also works. How was your sleep? Um, Trying to think if there's any real difference. How did you sleep? How was your sleep? Yeah, yeah. It's same thing basically. And you can answer it the same way. If you look at the grammar, you might think, "How was your sleep?" My sleep was. You can do that, but you can also answer it the same way you answered the other one. I slept well. I slept like a baby. How would we talk about staying overnight in a friend's house? I need you to be more specific about what you want to say. Like what I don't know what you don't know, because right now it looks like you know the language. I'm trying to understand what is the language that you don't know. Um, I can guess first. So a few things you might say are stay the night, spend the night, or stay over. All of those really just mean sleep somewhere. So if you have a guest, you can say, "Hey, would you like to stay the night? I have a guest bedroom." Or um, if you don't want to drive home, you are welcome to spend the night. Or you're welcome to stay over if you would like to. All of these really mean sleep here, if that is what you are asking. I'm not 100% sure if that is what you were asking, though. Going to check a few more questions. When someone wants to sleep and can't do it, what do we call that? We usually just say can't fall asleep. I can't fall asleep. I've been trying for 2 hours, but I can't fall asleep. Yeah, correct. So I can't fall asleep. Good. Usually, when I have guests, I sleep late. I'm not sure if you understand this one correctly, because sleep late means wake up late. And for me, if I have guests, I wake up early so that I am awake when they wake up. So I think maybe you didn't understand that one. Sleep late does not mean go to sleep late. It does not mean start sleeping late. It means wake up late. We don't I don't think we ever really say have a sleep. I don't think that's something that we say. You could say have a good night's sleep, but usually sleep is uncountable. So we don't say For example, a boy asks his mother if he can sleep at his friend's house. Is it a stayover? Okay, so when we are talking about children or teenagers, that is called a sleepover. Um, Give me one moment. I'll put it on the screen. So when your children you go to sleep at the house of another child, that is called a sleepover. So the children had a sleepover. They all slept at the same house overnight. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. Um, so someone, Guerma asked, what about insomnia? So insomnia is a medical condition. Um, I think the only way that you know that you have insomnia is your doctor tells you you have insomnia. But if you just have difficulty falling asleep sometimes, that does not mean that you have insomnia. That just means that you are a normal human. But insomnia is a medical condition that should be diagnosed by a doctor. It's not just, "Oh, it was hard falling asleep tonight, insomnia." No, no, it's much more serious than that. It's a medical condition. Irena, I see your sentences. I see your comment. Thank you. I'm glad that you appreciate the lesson. Um, Slumber party. You can also use slumber party instead of sleepover. However, not every sleepover is a party. Slumber party sounds more like you're celebrating and it's really special. Um, you can say have a nap. So a nap is when you sleep not at your bedtime, but usually in the morning, in the middle of the day, in the afternoon, for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, for 2 hours. Napping is a shorter period of sleep during the non sleeping time. So maybe after this live lesson, I feel pretty tired. I could take a nap for 30 minutes. And there's a lot more we could talk about the grammar with nap. It can be a verb, it can be a noun. You can say take a nap, have a nap, nap. We're not going to talk about all of it right now. But yes, napping is a type of sleeping. And yes, how was your sleep last night? Yes, yes, yes. So someone already asked that. And yes, that's fine too. How about this? I'm gonna hit the hay now. Yes. So two very common idioms that some people use to talk about going to sleep are hit the hay and hit the sack. Sorry, hit the hay and hit the sack. Um, so hay is the stuff that you have like on a farm. It's like grass. Um, I guess in the past, maybe people slept on hay instead of a nice mattress. So hit the hay is like put your head down on the hay. You can also say hit the sack. A sack is like a big bag that you might have potatoes in, or rice in, or hay in. So that could be used as a pillow. So when we say hit the sack, hit the hay, both of those come from, I guess, sleeping in the past when people slept on hay or slept on big bags instead of nice mattresses. So, yes, those are two very common idioms, hit the hay and hit the sack. Both just mean go to sleep, go to bed. All right. And finally, please remember that if you're interested in booking speaking sessions with me, I now do offer 1 hour sessions and 30-minute sessions on italki. If you're interested, the link is in the description below this video. Also, for the rest of August, my ebooks are all 30% off, but you do need to use the code August30 when you go to the checkout. The link to get my books is also in the description below. And if you want daily updates from me, hey, I've got a new video. Hey, the live lesson starts in 1 hour. Hey, here's a post I think you will like. Make sure to join my Facebook Messenger channel. The link for that is in the description below also. Or if you don't want daily updates, but you want an email once per month talking about different things like, hey, this is what we talked about last month. Hey, this is what we're going to talk about next month. Hey, there's a discount on my ebooks, things like this. I recommend joining my email newsletter. It's usually just one email per month. I definitely don't send you emails every week. I don't want to bother you all. If you're interested in joining that, the link is also in the description below this video. And the final thing, again, if you found this useful and you'd like to help support my work, help support these free lessons, a great way to do that is by buying me a coffee. The link for my Buy Me a Coffee website is also in the description below this video. So yeah, lots of stuff down below if you're interested. But yeah, that is all for today. I need to stop talking because my throat is getting very dry. But thank you all very much for joining and participating. I enjoyed reading all of your sentences. And I am back now from vacation. So we will continue to do live lessons at this time every Monday. We will also have the live Q&A sessions on Saturday as normal as well. So thank you all for joining, and I will see you soon. Oh, no, one more thing. One more thing is that if you didn't notice, I did post a new video on YouTube 1 or 2 days ago. So if you haven't checked that out yet, go check that out on my channel. It's a video about how saying I have a doubt is not correct and how to use the word doubt correctly. So if you're interested, go to my channel, check it out, and I will see you all soon whenever I see you. Maybe on Saturday, maybe next Monday. Goodbye. Thank you for joining.